Hello, welcome back to the Jackocar Cup Series. We are still in Saudi Arabia here for Season 13, Round 14. It is Thursday Night Thunder, and for one night only, it is the Traitors. Luckily, Gareth has written out a whole list of explanations so that everyone knows how this works. But essentially, in this race, the wild card is that we're going to have two Traitors out there. Now, one from the playoffs and one from the chase. Presumably the active drivers still in the playoffs. It'd be a bit silly to give it to someone who's out of the championship like Michael Jackocar or something like that. But I mean, they might have given it to him just to cause chaos. Wouldn't that be interesting if they could get reinstated to the playoffs if they do well? I don't know. But essentially, yeah, one driver from playoffs, one driver from chase will be a traitor, and they'll be here to cause all sorts of chaos and stuff like that. Jacko is still here. Hello, Jacko.
Hello, Owen.
And
we were having some good discussions, weren't we, off stream now, talking about all the, I guess, permutations, but it could go any which way. It's all jolly exciting, actually.
I'll read you Gareth's press release for this, just to make things clear. This explains why he called himself Claudia Winkleman in qualifying, by the way, and presumably he's still Claudia Winkleman in the race. I guess so, as you can see on the bottom of your screen. Claudia Winkleman. But yes, Claudia himself announced this about 10 minutes ago now. So, 20 drivers enter the Saudi Arabian street track. 2 of them are traitors, and as traitors, their goal is to cause as much chaos and destruction to the rest of the grid as possible. At the end of the race, a round table vote will occur. If all the traitors go undetected, they will each receive a shield for round 15. That shield, you'll see it on the graphics for the driver standings. That basically means they can't be eliminated from round 15, which is important if you're a chase driver, because if you can't get eliminated from round 15, then that means you qualify for round 16, and round 16 is their championship 4, which means if the chase traitor goes undetected here, they could be fast-tracked into that championship 4, so it is vital for them. For the playoff drivers, it just gives them a little bit more security for next week. They obviously have 2 more rounds after this to build points up and qualify for the next stage. If any of the traitors receive the most amount of votes, all traitors will leave Saudi Arabia with no points. So it sort of goes the other way. If they do get called out, they're probably out of whatever championship they're in. If a caught traitor wins the race, the shield for the win will still stand, however the total points scored will not. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of mathematics happening here after the race. But no stewarding reports, because any incident reports against traitors will be an instant no further action. So that'll be interesting. There's also one more rule. The leader's pardon. Leading laps is no fun for the rest, so every lap that is led will result in a single point deduction. 25 laps here in this race, so say Jake O'Sullivan, who's on pole position, dominates the race, leads every lap. He only would get 10 points for that win. Or 15. 10 points. You get 10 points for that win, because you get 35 for a win, -1 for every lap led. So it's in your interest, basically, to only lead the final lap and get the win. But it means that no one is going to be scoring the full 35 points tonight.
But, Owen, more importantly, I believe those points also carry over into the playoffs as well, so the playoff standings. So I don't know who has the lead, but whoever's leading the playoffs, if it's only a 10-point margin and they go and lead 13 laps, all of a sudden they're -3 on the guy behind them.
But then they get the points at the end of the race, so I think it's basically we're going to have to do the maths at the end of the race, since you keep track of who leads the laps anyway. So we'll basically just do the maths at the end and just take say Jake does win from pole, led 6 laps, he'd only get 29 points, and then we add that to his total. So instead of 35, so it should be relatively simple maths to work out, but it should mean that no one runs off into the distance and dominates the race, while at the same time we've got 2 traitors out there doing God knows what to the rest of the field. They could approach this in a few different ways. They could cause chaos, bring safety cars out, take drivers out, take out their playoff or chase rivals. Could be the way to do it, but that might make them easy to get caught. So it'd be really fascinating to see what strategies they all go for. Or they'll just go for a bog standard normal race, don't do anything stupid, don't get themselves caught, don't get anyone suspecting them, and earn that shield for next week to guarantee safety. At the end of this event, we'll still lose one playoff driver, we'll still lose 2 chase drivers. We won't be able to tell you who those drivers are on this stream because all the round table voting and all the rest of it happens post-stream. So to find out who gets knocked out this week, you'll need to tune in next week. So I think as far as we're concerned, Jacko, we're just going to sit and watch the race. We're not going to worry about the standings. We're going to work out for ourselves as well because we don't know who the traitors are. And we're just going to watch and see how this plays out.
Yeah, so basically I think our job is the same as it is every week. Call what we see. And the little job I do in the background is count the laps, so I may sporadically update you on that. But other than that, it is a straightforward race, I guess, for some people. But 20 cars on the grid, that's always good to see, and a little bit of jeopardy deep into the playoffs. So we are very, very excited. And back in Saudi Arabia, one of our favourite tracks. We love it here, and it's good to be back.
On the week where I think F1 was meant to be here, but obviously due to events out of F1's control, they aren't. So we're giving them their attention instead, as we will do for Bahrain in a couple of weeks as well. We didn't plan it to be that way, but you know, Jackocar always the innovator, so we find a way. But yeah, this should be fascinating as well, because last week we saw, well, we didn't see it, but I can promise it did happen while my internet was going, you know, haywire. We saw red flags return in full force. They were back the week before, but they didn't get implemented. But certainly for Imola, they did. And that is the police. They're not here to take me away, hopefully. But, welcome to Salford. But, yeah, we saw red flags come out. This track, easy to see pile-ups happen here, so we may well see more red flags. That will muck about with the Mavs for the laps led. I don't know if they'll be particularly rude to your driver, because I think the race loses 2 laps, doesn't it, if there's a red flag. So say if we get a red flag on lap 1, would Jake technically have led lap 1 and 2, even though it restarts on 3? I wonder. I suppose it depends which driver it is, actually, whether Gareth and Ben want to be petty about it. But yeah, red flags can be a factor, safety cars will be a factor. Yeah, anything can happen here.
Hello, Owen. I've always classed red flags as red flag laps, so they've never been awarded to the leading driver at the time. But that's just how I do things. So, obviously, Shaw and Hall have their own say-so. But there you go. Anyway, 3 cars we're waiting for to line up on the grid. Jake, Johannes, Leroy, Robin, Michael OKK, the top 5. Who knows what's going to happen? But Owen Wyatt is going to take us into turn 1.
And just in case you missed qualifying, it was decided in a session with no rules, so no track limits. You could do whatever you wanted. You could drive backwards on the track, try and wreck each other's laps. So that's why we've got a bit of a mixed up grid. Let's say these wildcard nights are where we just experiment with all sorts of weird and wacky ideas. And as we prepare to launch towards turn 1, it's not the longest run, but when we get off the line here, anything could happen. 25 laps ahead of us here in Saudi Arabia. It's Jake from Johannes, that's the front row, and boogity boogity boogity, let's go racing. Who's going to get to turn 1 first? Who wants to get to turn 1 first? It's going to be Jake O'Sullivan, who heads away, and looks like Leroy's held on to 3rd place. Michael Akake's up into 4th. Johannes following the leader closely. A little bit of side-by-side behind as we see Arnoud moving up into 5th. A bit of front wings come off though for Arnoud. He's damaged it, so that's no good for him. Sully's out of this race, and we've got a potential red flag situation already here. Pete Knighton's out, Sully's out, Ben Harrett is in serious trouble. This has all happened at turn 4. It'll only be a virtual safety car somehow. That's only a virtual safety car. I can't believe that. There's all sorts of chaos down there. But we've lost 2 drivers already, and only a virtual safety car.
Only. And it leads me on to think about something that
There's
we
a
didn't
red
pick
flag.
up on. Red flag. Jake O'Sullivan will get away with this, but in the event of a safety car, does the leader pit to jeopardise the guy in P2 and cause him to lose points?
So we just wait, and just on red flags actually before we get started, this will say they've all made a stop, but since it's a red flag it doesn't count. So yeah, to complete your mandatory stops it need to say 3 now on the screen. But yeah, that'll be interesting when it comes to just all the tactics. I mean, I'm actually surprised that Jake decided to lead that into turn 1, but well, he's got another chance now. See what he does this time. So this will sit on a black screen for a little bit. I believe this is just so that everyone can choose their strategies again. Will they stay on the same tire? I suppose they might as well. As a new set of softs. I mean, it's only been used for half a lap. But yeah, we'll get going again, and basically, I think that takes up only one safety car slot since it was just a VSC. So it shouldn't have taken up two, for instance, one for a safety car, one for a red flag. So we should still have 4 safety car slots available. I don't know how many red flags you can get. I'm presuming you can get a handful. But hopefully we will see pictures again. We've lost 2 drivers already. Let's give it another go, shall we? 5 lights. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing again. And it's a decent start again from Jake O'Sullivan. Is he going to hold the lead again? Oh, Michael Okeke! Oh, my goodness. He's found the barriers and he nearly took out Johannes while he did it. My goodness, that was close. That's going to cause a bit of a bottleneck through turn 3 and 4 again. How are they going to handle it this time? As they head through, everyone's been a bit more sensible this time around. We may have already lost our... Oh, who's that gone off to Narnia? I think it's Baza, who survived somehow. Well, no, damn it. Well, he's lost a lot of the right-hand side of his front wing, but he's not out of the race, which is what I was worried about. But, yeah, in this situation, we may have already lost our traitors, of course. I mean, it's always hard to tell as Robin gets past Leroy. But, yeah, it's those top 2 at the front again, Jake and Johannes. Chaotic start, but we got there second time around.
Yeah, I opted to go on board with Michael Okeke at the start, and I got the POV of what you saw off board. It was very close, but he managed to get going again. He's only lost 2 places because of it. He's actually hunting the back of Chris Waits at the minute, but Jake O'Sullivan looks like he's trying to defend from Johannes. But what are they going to do when it comes to the end of lap 1?
Well,
we're going to find out.
Johannes, he's giving his rival a big old shove. That was a very aggressive shove, yeah. And now they're going to play a bit of chicken down the main straight. Jake's hit the back of his rival and decided, I'm going to pit. So there's the pit stop tactics going there for Jake O'Sullivan. And so here comes Leroy.
On Johannes, then.
Well, exactly, yeah. I mean, that's the first thing you've got to think about. That was very aggressive. And he was playing the tactics all the way down the main straight as well. So, yeah, could it be Johannes who's our traitor for the playoff drivers? Remember, one for the playoffs, one for the chase. We're watching Leroy all over the back of Robin here. And Leroy's giving us a real go. I thought he was going to have second place down towards turn 1, but he didn't quite make it. They'll be nowhere near Johannes. And this is a problem for Johannes now. Johannes is probably going to want to pit at the end of this lap, so he doesn't lead it and hope that these 2 stay out. And they're fighting very hard at the moment, all for second place. Third place net, but they've done well. They're ahead of Chris Waits by a second, and he's got Ben Shaw on the back of him. Jamie Griffiths has made up a little bit of ground. There have been a few pit stops, to be fair. Deck has been in... Oh, let me actually see who's been in. Hold on, there might be a few who have been in here. Right, Jake, Michael Okeke, Yuri, Ben Harrett and Arnold have been into the pits so far. The tyres do seem to not be counting up, which is a bit irritating, but this does happen with red flags. The graphics can get a little bit messy, but we'll try and keep a track of it. Here comes Leroy. Ben Shaw's got past Chris Waits in the background, but this is the battle for second place. Will it be the battle for the lead as Johannes comes towards the pit lane entry? This is a great battle between these 2. Into the pits comes Johannes, and look at the wheel binding here. I think Robin wants into the pits, but so does Leroy. And no one's going to lead this lap. Ben Shaw doesn't lead it. He was behind Johannes when Johannes crossed the line, so Johannes led the lap, but Ben Shaw has the lead.
Spot on, Owen. You're doing my job for me. 2 laps led for Johannes and 2 red flags. Ben Shaw, the leader, on lap 5. And also, I'm sure you saw it as well, how aggressive Robin and Leroy were with each other.
Great race.
That's two chase drivers. It can only be one of them who's a traitor.
Now, here's Johannes back onto the tail of Jake O'Sullivan. They'll both be getting up towards Gareth Hall soon as Robin picks up a penalty. Probably thanks to all that battle he was doing with Leroy. And Leroy, I could have sworn Leroy did get into the pits ahead of Robin, but he's got himself back behind him. So that's a bit of a shame for Leroy. He did a lot of work to get past then. And they very nearly put themselves into the wall on that pit lane entry too. But yeah, again, I can only apologise that the graphics aren't really playing ball, but I think they've sorted themselves out now when it comes to the tyres, so we'll just keep an eye on it. But yeah, here's Gareth Hall, we mentioned it, driving very slowly, and he's doing that very much on purpose. He's not hiding anything here. Obviously,
No.
there's an element here of, even if you aren't a traitor, it doesn't mean you can't pretend to be one. Does it? And,
I believe that's what they call an imposter. Okay, get out.
Michael Okeke is out of this race, and we've got a full safety car this time. Ben, what's going on there?
Decides to stay out, that's late.
Yeah, that was a very late call. I just saw a whole gaggle of cars pop up at the pit entry. I thought that could have been a massive mess. But I think they've all got through with no damage. But yeah, I'll tell you what as well. Jake O'Sullivan, Jake's into the pits again. So, doing everything he can to just avoid being in a situation where he can lead this race, isn't he?
He's always got good tyres, that's one thing.
But yeah,
this is interesting now, because Ben Shaw leads. So this is what I was saying during the interim. Does the leader pit at the end of the lap to put what would now be Chris Waits into the lead? But then why wouldn't have Ben Shaw done it just now? He bailed.
I suppose it's a risk versus reward here. If you win the race, it doesn't really matter if you leave, say, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 laps, around that sort of range, because it would still give you podium level points, I suppose. But safety cars obviously last about 3 or 4 laps, and he already led a lap, so he'll already be on to 5 led laps by the end of this, and so then you would need to start losing the lead at some point to make being at the front of this worth it. So yeah, it is interesting. But yeah, I didn't actually consider the likes of Gareth, who's out of the championship, by the way. Gareth's out of this whole championship, so I didn't think he would be the traitor. He wouldn't make himself the traitor. Where's the fun in that? But there is nothing stopping any of these remaining 17 drivers from pretending to be a traitor. What this has done is given everyone sort of free rein to be a bit of a knob.
Well, going based on the driving we've seen so far, I would say that Robin and Johannes are the traitors. What we said at the start, I mean, you said Chris Waits and Deck, I said Chris Waits and Bazza. So, who knows?
All will be revealed to the drivers anyway after the race. Remember, they'll all do a round table vote at the end. But we already have a few drivers in mind, so you can imagine for the drivers out there, they'll only encounter some of the drivers, so they'll have their own opinions. Will they consult our stream afterwards to find out what we think before they make their vote? And let's say if the traitors aren't the most voted, I think they get away with it, don't they? But if they are, then they get no points. So that's sort of the situation here. As a few more pitters, we've got Arnoud in for a new front nose. Jamie Griffiths is in as well, but this is just for some new tyres. Arnoud will be last then, as he comes out.
Now, Owen, I don't know if you saw earlier in the evening, I asked Shaw and Hall what percentage or what chance is there that this system that you're bringing in tonight is there of generating a new race winner for the season? And they said, well, Ben Shaw it was, that said there was only about 10% chance, which is better than the not having an extra 10%. But I can see where they were going with that now, because it's going to be a little bit of tiptoeing for the first 22 laps, and then suddenly the fast guys are going to try and come through at the end, and they won't mind leading a couple of laps, will they? And taking a win. So I see where he's coming from.
Yeah, I think
I do like the format.
One thing I would have wished to see now, having seen the 50 laps, is obviously there's that footnote, isn't there, at the bottom of the Traitors rule, which is that any incident reports against the Traitors will be instant no further action. Wouldn't it have been great if all drivers had that? Because that really would allow all the drivers to just pretend to be traitors, and that really would cause all sorts of mess. But at the same time, we might have been watching the real traitors mucking about, and then they'd be fine because they get away with it. So I wonder if this will just actually make people not want to report anyone because they think, well, there's no point.
Yeah, it's an easy night in a steward's room. I like that approach. Anyway, Ben Shaw will lead us back to green. When he completes this lap 7, he will have led 3 laps altogether, which would be -3 off his total. Owen Wyatt.
Here we go then, on board with the co-league owner, with Gareth Hall of course, but this is the lead of the race for Ben Shaw. He'll get to that line there, and I think pretty much he can go whenever he wants, and he's gone now. Looks like Jackocar's had a good start. He's on the back of Chris Waits, and we could very much be looking at the two Traitors here in second and third as they head down towards turn one, nice and clean. And look at there's the late raking move for Johannes. He's got through on Mike Kelterborn. That was very nicely done, and I think Mike's had a bit of a moment there. Or that's Chris Waits, sorry, having a moment, and Jackocar going up his inside. Off goes Chris Waits, and now Johannes is on the back of these pair. We've got another safety car out. Can't quite tell what it's for at all, really. I'm looking for.
I saw nothing. No front
missing
wing
front wing
on
for,
the Jake machine. Yeah.
And the Yuri machine, so it must have been those two. Everyone else looks to be okay, but that is another safety car deployed. More laps led for Ben Shaw. Or is it? What's he going to do now? I suppose he sort of has to stick with this, doesn't he? Because he's not had a chance to make a mandatory stop yet, has he? So
yeah, that's exactly it. He still has to think of strategy, which I believe they still have to comply with the regulations on that. The more I see Johannes, the more I'm starting to believe he might well be the traitor. Very, very aggressive on the restart. Aggressive turn one, lap one at the final corner. I just think he's starting to. I mean, maybe he's got a bit of an aggressive streak in him tonight, but that's who my bet is on 8 laps in.
Yeah, so Johannes is currently third in the playoff standings. He's 29 points safe. So if he were a traitor and he got caught out and he got no points, and say Tony, Casper, Ben Shaw all outscored him and Chris Waits won, it would leave Johannes in a bit of a difficult position. At the minute, Chris Waits is the driver who'd be getting knocked out of the playoffs if it was just based on the points at the start of tonight. Only one driver gets knocked out of the playoffs. The driver still remaining from lowest to highest. Chris Waits, then Ben Shaw 3 points ahead of him, and Casper 13 points ahead, but he's safe because he won the last race anyway. Tony Kirkpatrick 25 points ahead, Johannes 29 points ahead, J. Sullivan 36 points ahead, and R9 Degrees 59 points ahead. So that's sort of where we're at the minute. So if Johannes was a traitor, I suppose he'd be the one who could move the most if he got caught out.
Yeah, however, as we always discuss, risk versus reward. If he doesn't get caught out, it'd be massively in his favour.
Exactly.
Massively.
And
what was it? You told me the other day he's not finished outside the top 4 since when?
I think
most of the season.
I think it might have been a Ben Shaw stat. To be fair, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think basically the headline is he's the most consistent driver in Jackocar. I think was the main headline. So yeah, it gives him a chance to do something different, I suppose. Just in the chase standings as well, while we're looking at them, 2 drivers get knocked out of these tonight and again next week, 2 above them. So at the minute, Leroy and Mike Kelterborn are the drivers at risk. I mean, Mike Kelterborn sits in 5th place, Leroy in 9th. That's not too bad. So they're at risk at the minute. Above them in the championship, they got Barry Baldwin, they got Jordan Lane. They would be at risk next week if it all stayed the same, because it's 7th and 8th go out this week, 5th and 6th go out next week. And then the top 4, who at the minute would be Pete Knighton, Ben Harrett, Jimmy Griffiths and Detta Cornley. If they stay in the top 4, they go into the Championship 4 in round 16, and that'll decide which one of them gets into the Championship 5 alongside the 4 playoff drivers who qualify, obviously for their side of the championship. And like I say again, yeah, it's a let me just do some maths. 33 points gap between 1st and 8th in the chase standings. So yeah, again, if one of them is a traitor and get caught out, it could be a really big problem for them. So, but if they don't get caught, they're straight through into the Championship 4. So it's probably the one that has more at risk is actually, or more at stake, is the chase one.
Absolutely. The world hopes and prays that there is a route for Barry Baldwin and success. Obviously missed out on the Championship 5 last season by 0.2 of a second to Robin Border in that crazy Monza race. is there a final shot at glory for the old man from Wales? He must be 38 by now, mustn't he? He's a real elder statesman. The great Barry Baldwin, 800 plus races, 20 plus wins, incredible, sparkling, glittering career. Maybe a Cup Series championship awaits him. Wouldn't that be a way to sign off?
It would be a brilliant way to sign off, wouldn't it? I'm gonna throw another name into the mix here. Pete Knighton. Could he possibly have been the chase traitor? Because gets himself crashed out in lap 1. People will forget he exists. I don't know if it was his fault, to be fair. It looked like a bit of a pile-up in there. He may have been an innocent victim on lap 1. But say he were to chase his traitor, gets knocked out this early in the race, people will forget he exists. He'll look at everyone else, he'll look at Deck and the rest of them. If he doesn't get caught out, he'd be straight into the Championship 4, wouldn't he? Because he would get that shield that would protect him from elimination next week. So,
do you think that's the game plan?
Well, that's what I'm suggesting. Since I didn't fully see what happened, I'm just wondering if Pete Knighton getting himself knocked out of the race early, if it is him, wouldn't that be either a slice of fantastic good luck?
It's incredible, yeah.
Or
and
very clever. It's either lucky or clever, or it's not him and he's just an idiot.
Well, very quickly, he won season 1, which was obviously the first season of the Jacko era. This is the first season of the Shaw and Hall era. Maybe history repeats itself. Let's go green flag racing.
I was worried that Ben was about to go early there, but he's slowed back down. He's ready to go now. And let's see the aggression from Johannes then, shall we? Down towards turn 1. Late on the brakes. Actually, it's Robin this time, hitting the side there of Mike Kelterborn and damaging his front wing in the process. That's going to create a bit of a bottleneck as Johannes looks onto the back of Jackocar. Remember, he'll be faster anyway because he's got better tyres, he's made his first mandatory stop, he is the net race leader as things stand, and he naturally is just faster than these guys ahead, so we'll expect some aggression regardless. But, oh, look at that, yeah, there's Robin's front wing damage for you. Leroy's had a moment, and he's lost half his front wing on the left-hand side. But he's still in the race. We're still green here. Front right puncture for Yori. So the two Hasselagers having a very bad lap indeed. Casper is past Ben Harrett and up into 9th place. But here's Johannes. We've got another yellow flag. That'll again just be for Johannes.
Yeah, Deck in the wall, by the way.
Yori, sorry.
And Johannes is actually going to go through on Deck here. The poor exit out of the fast chicane. And that's why you see Johannes up to 3rd. No aggression note. He was straight through and puts himself onto the back of Chris Waits. Ben Shaw's lead, by the way, was up to 1.5 seconds. It's now given the lead to Chris Waits.
Look at that.
Very Max Verstappen-esque there. And it's Johannes to the front.
I was on board there with Johannes, and there was not much space at all there to make that work. And look at that out of the final corner, how close that was out of the final corner. A lot of them had just closed in on each other. That was like we were under safety car again. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe how close they all were as they all rush into the pits together. But yeah, Johannes, has to be said, Johannes is far and away the favourite to win this race now, isn't he? I mean, he looks fast, he's got the track position, he's got the strategy. Things are looking very good for him. I think Robin is a legitimate second. Oh, don't do that now.
Not if he crashes, he's not.
Yeah. And he has. Well, okay, well, Arnold will be a legitimate second place then. I think that's how it'll work. And then Ben Hart will be a legitimate 3rd, I want to say. That doesn't make sense, does it? How did he get up there?
Jake O'Sullivan's ahead of him now.
Well, he's legit. He's just broke his front wing once. That's why he's got 4 stops on there. But he also made an extra pit stop under the safety car to avoid leading laps. Which is a problem that Johannes is going to have a lot to deal with now because he's, well, 4.5 seconds clear of what will be Arnold in a minute, and now is Arnold in 2nd place. So, what's the plan, Johannes? Will he stay out? Will he pit? Bit early to make a final stop, isn't it? But if you put a set of hards on now, they'll probably get to the end.
Yeah, it's... What do? Do you just take the points loss? I mean, let's see, does he stay out? He will stay out, and this will be his 4th lap led of the race. He, of course, led lap 3, 4, 11 and 12. Sets the fastest lap in the process, but his lead is just always extending.
And Arnoud's probably quite happy to sit in second place. The longer he sits in second place, the more likely that second place will earn him more points than Johannes will get for winning the race, because he's led too many laps. So I think second place is as good as the win at the minute, as far as Arnoud's concerned. It won't go as a win on the stats, but the points are all that really matters at this stage. And actually, if Arnoud finishes where he is, it might be a bit early to say. I think if he finishes where he is, we'll try and do some, well, I'm not going to do the maths, but look out for the standings next week, because if Arnoud finishes where he is at the minute, I think he'll be through into the Championship 5, because he already has an enormous points gap up at the front. He needs to be, 70 clear at the end of this race, or maybe 71 clear to be safe, to guarantee a spot on the Championship 5. He's already 59 points clear of the drop, so yeah, Arnoud at the minute could be on a drive that seals him Championship 5 qualification. Possibly the earliest we'll have ever seen it.
Yeah, I do believe so, because normally it's not until it's normally the old playoff system, isn't it? Not until a race or two before can you qualify. But yeah, Arnoud very much on his way. By the way, Jordan making a move on Claudio Winkleman.
Arnoud has got the lead now. Well, he won't, well, not on this lap, but he'll get it on the next lap. So Johannes did eventually go into the pits. And here comes Jake through on Robin. He's keeping up with Arnoud at the moment, but Johannes, what's it going to be? I think he's made a mistake here. He's gone on, well, those mediums, they may be either the mediums from the start. I forget what exactly tire. Actually, let me check my race director. That'll tell me what tire he was on at the very, very start. These might be the mediums that he was on from the start of the race that then got red flags, so they may not have much wear on them. I'm just thinking he maybe would have wanted to put hards on here, Johannes, but he's put on a used set of mediums. We'll see how well they last. But he's back into the race in P5. He's got Baz ahead of him. He's got the gap over Ben Shaw. All looks good still. Where's Casper at? He's on the back of Mike Kelterborn in his famous stand, and obviously qualifying didn't go great for Casper, and coming through the grid now, he's only gotten halfway up it, and he's into P8, and surely P7 will be coming soon. But look at the straight line speed that we are seeing there from Mike Kelterborn. Obviously no ERS was being used there by Casper for a lot of that straight, but even when using it, it looks to me like you've got a very slippery purple machine there from Mike Kelterborn. That will help him keep track position. He's having a good race as things stand, and he needs it, really, doesn't he? He's in danger of falling out of the chase, and he's let Casper through. Doesn't want to risk too many battles here, because I think he's aware of where he is in the race, and he's in a very good position. So actually, let's see a straight line speed as he closes in on the car ahead. He just looks quite fast to me. Are you back yet, Jack?
Yeah, I'm back, yeah. Yeah, I just had to cough. Are you talking about Mike Kelterborn?
Yes.
Okay, so Mike was, like we spoke about Pete just now, about winning in Season 1. Does he win in the new era, in their first season? Mike Kelterborn was also in that Championship 5 race. I believe he come 5th out of the 5. But he would also like to repeat history and at least have an attempt at a Championship 5. I'm sure most of the drivers here would. It is, of course, as I always say, the hardest league to win in esports, the Jackocar Cup Series. The best drivers on the planet, because they are the only ones that raced with sim damage.
It's not come to my attention that Mike might be one of 2 drivers who's yet to be at their second stops yet. So maybe,
never mind.
maybe not. Oh,
maybe no
Bazza.
C5.
Bazza out there as well. Oh, it's fine. When he got to the C5 last time, he parked it in the barriers in the pit lane entry at China, remember? So it wasn't a great day for him anyway. As here comes Casper on the back of Bazza. Arnoud's into the pits to make his, hopefully for him, his last stop. We saw Jacob Sullivan in the background there. He's made his last stop, but he's about 8 seconds behind our race leader. Bazza, he might have wanted to pit there, but he had Casper on his inside, so he couldn't. So he'll go another lap. Could cause a bit of chaos if he wants to, but he's decided to let Casper go through. There's Arnoud in the middle of that battle now. He's come out of the pits behind Bazza. And now he's straight back ahead, is he? Or Bazza's going to fight that, actually. Was run out of road there. And here comes Jake O'Sullivan now, and he's going to squeeze through, and that was a very sketchy moment there for Arnoud and for Jake. That could easily have gone wrong. Mike Kelterborn just sits on the back of that too. Baz has now gone off the road and got a penalty. But now up at the front of the race, and potentially set to be unchallenged now for the rest of this race, is Johannes. He's got 10 more laps to lead. He's going to get really not many points at all for this at the moment.
Well, no, he's led 5 laps already.
Yeah, so
another
he's
10.
Going to get 20
That's 15.
Going to get 20 points possibly only in this race as things stand. And let me just get the points up. That is equivalent to finishing basically 5th if he does that. So, I'd be getting the anchors on if I'm you, Johannes. But the problem is actually, if he's going to do that quite soon. Actually, I wonder if maybe even another pit stops in his future, get some softs on and make the time up that way, because he's going to do something to stop hemorrhaging points.
Well, Arnoud is going at quite the rate, so I wonder if Johannes will try and back himself up into Johannes and into Arnoud, and then they'll try and have themselves a little fight at the end. That's what we want. But yeah, he's taken all the points away from himself.
Yeah.
But Arnoud chasing race win number 25, Johannes looking for race win number 6, and he gets a penalty.
Oh, that's even worse.
Well, it is even worse, because Arnoud can just sit in the penalty zone now and not have to lead a lap.
This is it, yeah.
Johannes.
And
so he's going to have to relinquish the lead.
Yeah, and Arnoud's not going to let him do that. I don't think he would have let him do it anyway. He would have let him do it anyway. I think if Johannes wanted to slow down, even without that penalty, and back himself up, these two would just let him, and they wouldn't pass him. So they've got an even worse. He's got an even worse scenario now, where he's got that penalty. He maybe needs to start pretending to be a traitor again, unless he is a traitor, and try and get these two to get penalties.
And then, of course, that would invite Jake O'Sullivan into play as well. And in fact, he's not very far off the back of Arnoud as it is. These two, Jake O'Sullivan and Arnoud de Grief, they are flying along. Johannes' lead is dropping almost too quickly. I think he knows, Owen. I think he knows.
So those used tyres, maybe they are properly causing problems as well. Hard to tell, but you're right, he's losing time, and the penalty as well doesn't help him out. Seeing a little bit of midfield battling going on, but for the most part, everyone's actually behaving themselves and being quite clean.
Oh, Jake lock up into turn 1, it was huge. And you see Arnoud streak away. Sorry to interrupt, but he was almost in the barrier.
But yeah, when you've got everyone sort of behaving themselves, I mean, now how'd you pick a traitor out of this lot now? When everyone's behaving themselves, I mean, there are still possibly 2 drivers out there that have been told to cause chaos and muck about. But you wouldn't be able to tell, and that's exactly what they want, isn't it? Because that gives them that protection.
I still think it's Johannes. Like, we're not seeing the carnage because he's out front leading the race.
But in that case, who's the chase driver?
Yeah. Well, your theory of Pete and Iron would make a lot of sense.
It's starting to look that way, isn't
Robin.
it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't this have been great if it was Robin? Because he's actually up there, but he's out of the championship. So it'd be a bit silly if it was him, I think. Jordan Lane actually sitting behind him. He looks like he's on a legitimate strategy. I don't know how he's got there, but he's not at risk. But if he gets this result, this will put him into the top 4. If it's him, then he's done very well to, hide it. But he's actually having quietly a very good race at the moment.
Jordan Lane, another one of those drivers in the Season 1 Championship 5.
Yeah.
They're all coming out tonight. Who were the other 2? Khalifa and...
Khalifa and... We haven't mentioned Pete yet, have we? The champion.
Oh yeah, we have. Yeah, it was Pete,
have we?
Jordan, Khalifa,
Pete, Jordan,
Mike.
Khalifa... Pete, Jordan, Khalifa, Mike, and TC.
Ah, yes. Absolutely.
Or Thomas Stillens.
It's Thomas Stillens, of course.
I should
we
use
still,
his name. Oh,
yeah.
off goes. Oh, tell you what, that was nearly an accident there between Robin and Jordan, who is now out to 4th place. How has he done this? I honestly, I
don't know.
I wasn't really
He does
paying much
this though,
attention to him,
doesn't
but you're right, he does just sort of do this sometimes. And
Every so often he'll have one of these races, and it is one of those races tonight.
yeah,
I'm still
Robin's just not taking
looking
any
at
of these
the
corners at the minute. He's putting himself in a position to cause trouble.
Arnaud, 3.8. He's 8/10 away, 8/10 of a second away from leading the race. But then, presumably, him and Jake, they're both very clever guys. They will know about.
Hitting.
There you go, there you go, there you go.
Yeah.
Right, now we have ourselves a fight, and here comes Jake O'Sullivan into turn 1 for the lead. He's pushed to the outside by Arnaud de Grief. He's going to have the inside, but Arnaud cuts him up, and he will retain the lead. Jake tried to do the magic of season 5, but not enough space this time around.
Look at this. Here comes Johannes out of the pits. He's going to be in the middle of a proper scrap. He might be at the head of it. I'll tell you what, that's worked out quite nicely.
Yeah, fair play.
I didn't realise he had that much of a gap, to be honest, but there you go. 3rd place for
You know
Johannes.
what?
He'll still lose a lot of points, mind you. But, well... Is this worth it? How many laps has he led now, Jacko?
Oh my god, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh dear. So he'd be getting
Yeah.
26 points for finishing 3rd. That means 17. That's an equivalent to finishing 7th in the race now. Oh dear.
Yeah, I think it's come too late, that pit stop, hasn't it?
Oh dear.
But now I think you're going to see a bit of back and forth between Jake and Arnaud.
Well, yes, this is the thing now. Obviously, Arnaud is so far clear to win the championship, he might not need to worry too much about losing another 5-6 points here. But
It's 2 laps so far, and it's about to become 3.
yeah, so at worst, then he'd be finishing on 27 points if he won the race. That's just not too bad. It might still be enough actually to qualify him automatically.
Yeah,
for the
and he'd
championship.
get a shield, wouldn't he? So.
And he'd get the shield. Not that he would need it. Unless he's a traitor and he'd just say, well, look, he's a cheat, but he's not done anything to make us think he's a traitor yet. Not that you need to, actually. That's not really how it works, but... yeah, well, we'll wait and see. Casper's up to 4th now. He's got Benshaw and Jordan behind. Jordan being swallowed up a little bit now. The pack is very much caught up to him. But Casper's running round there with some front wing damage, and there's an accident there. Robin has finally put it into the wall, and we've been waiting for it to happen.
Car?
Safety car indeed. He's hit the inside wall at turn 4 there. We've been waiting for that. He's been missing a lot of corners. He's been really struggling. This will not be a long safety car, but... well, I mean, you got to pit, haven't you? You got to pit.
If you first and second, yes. Yeah, you have to.
If you're anyone, I think.
I think Johannes stays out.
Yeah, well, yeah, Johannes sort of has no... I don't think he'd gain any track position anyway, would he? By staying out, he's that far behind. But
Chris Waits, meanwhile, losing his head. Go on, Owen, continue.
yeah, I'm just... What is Chris Waits doing? Is this revealing his traitorness here? I don't know, he's mucking about really, but doesn't want to get himself disqualified. That would definitely knock him out of the playoffs. But yeah, this is going to be maybe a 2-lap long safety car. It's going to be a short safety car is what I'm saying, because it's lap 22 we're coming on to now. The field are very separated. Are we going to get maybe a 2-lap shootout at the end? I mean,
hopefully.
If a traitor wants to show himself,
pits.
He doesn't want to accidentally take the lead, I suppose.
Yeah.
But as we've already discussed, he'd probably want to win the race now because he's lost so many points. He needs to get up a few positions, but that penalty's really going to mess him up. Tony has decided to start. Only, let's say, if it's only going to be a 2-lap long restart, trap position, maybe that is key. I mean, this is really hard to call, but let's say there's only traitors still out there, and we have to assume, as things stand, there may well still be the two out there. What an opportunity to cause some chaos this is going to be.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be eyes on Johannes now. He's going to try and force other drivers to get 3-second penalties. And, well, Robin and Pete are out. Who else did we say? Deck and Baz are at the start. They've not really done anything this race, have they? To warrant being a traitor.
I mean, Tony staying out. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, well, this is it. But I've not seen anything other than Johannes. I've seen nothing from nobody that would make me want to give them the award for top traitor.
Mike Kelterborn, what about him? He actually is back in that track position I thought he might have been in earlier on because of the safety car, but he's decided not to pit. And so he and Jordan are going to be up there, and then we got Casper's back behind because he's fixed that front wing.
Yeah, Ben Shaw stayed out as well.
Did he?
Casper pitted. Yeah, Shaw stayed out. Casper pitted because Casper was ahead of him.
I think he got new tyres on. I think he was able to.
Says Casper's 8th though.
He fixed his front wing.
Unless he. Okay, my bad.
So, but yeah, we've got a lot of sort of pockets here of fascinating driver sort of pairings and groups. I am just fascinated by this. This could be a really messy end to a race that has been quite chilled out, I think. Anyone who has been bluffing so far may start to go for it at the end and just put it down to, well, it's the end of the race, it's a late safety car restart. Were you expecting it not to be chaotic?
If there's going to be,
make an excuse.
You know how Gareth likes to play the system. Who's the one man in this league, other than Yuri Hazelager, who knows the rules inside out?
Well, there's quite a few of them, really. I mean, you can name the top two.
He's in P2.
Yeah.
Jake O'Sullivan. Wouldn't it be good? Wouldn't it be funny if he was the traitor?
Yeah, I think
and he's just kept himself quiet until now, and all of a sudden he's got a bump and run in him. Remember when Kieran bump and runned him at Spa all those years ago?
I think he did it here as well, didn't he? I think they had a very controversial battle here, which I actually quite enjoyed watching personally, but they didn't enjoy being a part of it.
I think if it's not Johannes, Jake is a great shout, and I would totally understand it from Gareth's point of view if it is Jake.
I think it's good here. At some point tonight, we've basically named every driver as a possible.
I think so.
As a possible candidate.
We've kept coming back. We've kept coming back to a handful, haven't we? Jake being the latest of those. I couldn't tell you who the chase one is. I still put money on Johannes, but if it's not Johannes, it's Jake from the playoffs.
The only thing that's made me think Tony now is that he has decided to stay out. Now that might well just be because he wants to nick a podium, which is fair enough. But I mean, he just puts himself in such a good position to mess things up. He's also been on these tyres forever. I mean, I'm surprised he got his whole pit stop in, but anyway.
We're in for a green-white checker. We don't get too many of these. 2 laps then. It's going to be to decide who wins the race. Arnold chasing, as I said earlier, race win number 25. Jake O'Sullivan looking for race win number 29. Tony looking for race win number 10. And of course, Johannes, the traitor, question mark. He's there in P4. Ben Shaw, the season 8 champion, he's there in P5. We've got no idea who the traitor is. We've got no idea who's going to win this race. Oh, and Wyatt, shall we go racing?
Well, let's. We had this in Vegas at the start of the season, remember, where we had a green-white checker. And here we go again. Ben Harrett's already got a penalty for ignoring yellow flag, which is no good. As down towards turn 1 we go, and we've already got a little bit of side-by-side with said Ben Harrett, and there's a car in the wall. I could hear that from a mile behind. I don't know who it was, as Johannes gets himself past Tony and up into the podium places again. But remember, he's got that penalty as Tony goes wide. He's so slow. This is crawling round. Look at this from Ben Shaw. Very tiny move indeed, and he had to do it, otherwise he would have lost too much time because Tony he's too slow. Here's Mike Kelterborn now, trying to go for him, and this will be for P5 on the road, but he has penalties as well. Behind this, Ben Harrett is showing himself to be quite the nuisance. I mean, could it be him? I mean, he's the one causing problems as things stand.
It's just a nuisance in real life, Owen, that's all that is.
Well, who better to pick? We haven't seen anything from Jackocar at all tonight as well, by the way. I wonder when he's going to show up to this party, but we've got plenty going on. Johannes is all over the back of Jake O'Sullivan now as well. And Arnaud, well, I think he's just decided he's just going to win the race and take the points deduction as they come, because he doesn't need to worry about it because he's that many points clear. It's all behind him where things are going to kick off.
Yeah, well, Arnaud then, as you say, he'll take the points deduction and he won't mind it because it'll put him one race win closer to Jake O'Sullivan if he can hold on. It's 1 lap to go in Saudi Arabia as he sets the fastest lap. What happens behind? Jake is holding off Johannes, Ben Shaw ahead of Tony, and Mike still no closer to him. Ben Harrett is being done at the inside by Jamie Griffiths. There's contact there.
That was big contact there. And they'll keep going as well. I tell you what, Jamie Griffiths is, this is quite a personal battle for these two, because the second and third in the chase, they really don't need to be crashing into each other at this stage of proceedings, but look how slow Ben Harrett is now with the damage, and he's holding up a probably very frustrated Casper as he heads through it off the track again. He goes, that'll be another warning, because we'll get another penalty by the end of this lap. He's going to be basically right at the back of the field anyway at this rate because of that 10-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag that he got on the restart. I think everyone's still behaving themselves. I'm waiting for the big dive bomb as we see a bit of a moment there for Jamie Griffiths. DRS, of course, on this lap as well, so that could
it's going to be eyes on Johannes into the final corner if he can get anywhere near Jake O'Sullivan. That's where you guys have got to be. Although Jake's now within a second of Arnaud, but I think he's got enough to cover that off, especially with the penalty in hand.
Look out for Arnaud to absolutely put the brakes on here because he hasn't got the penalty. The two behind him the two behind him do have a penalty. So if I'm you, Arnaud, mate, I'd just put the brakes on. Okay, he's not done that. He's won the race. He'll lose a point for that. He probably could have slowed down. He didn't know. Ben Shaw finishes third behind Jake O'Sullivan, so Johannes ends up, I think, in a position where he loses. It's just catastrophic. He ends up on 14 points, I think, at the end. That's like finishing 8th, basically, so that really did not work out well for him. Tony ended up 5th, so that did work out well for him. But, yeah, I'm surprised Arnaud didn't just put the brakes on, honestly. He could have done that. That could have saved him a point there, because the two behind him had a penalty, but he didn't. I don't think he needed to worry about it, though, but that's what I would have done. There he is.
Good race in the end.
On the podium, the top of the podium, Arnaud de Grief, he's having a good season. He's a long way clear in the points, and he'll extend his gap, assuming he's not the traitor. If he is a traitor and he gets caught, then, well, he'll end up with no points, but he gets the shield anyway because he's won the race. If you win a race in the playoffs, you get a shield regardless of whether you're a traitor or not. It's stops him getting eliminated in the next race, but he may have the points advantage to be through the Challenger 5 already. He's that far ahead. We can give you provisionals for who gets knocked out of the playoffs and the chase. At the minute, Chris Waits... It's Chris Waits, isn't it? I mean, where is he? Chris Waits finished 16th. That's also known as last. So Chris Waits, I don't think he got 43 seconds of penalty. I don't think anything stops him getting knocked out here of the playoffs. So he's gone. Oh, I don't even know how to do the maths on this. I don't know who's been knocked out of the chase. I'll say that much. I don't know.
Yeah, the only thing that keeps Chris Waits in is a DSQ for Ben Shaw. But Ben did nothing wrong, as far as I'm concerned, in that race.
We'll worry about the chase next week. We'll tell you who gets knocked out there next week. Because, what's going to happen now is the drivers are going to go to the round table and they're going to vote for who they think the two traitors are. And if the two traitors are the two who get the most votes, they're screwed. They get no points. But if they aren't, they get a shield, which protects them from elimination next week. And if you're a chase driver and you get that, obviously that means you're into the Championship 4 for them. That Championship 4, if you win or finish highest of the chase drivers in that, you're into the Championship 5. So it's quite a good thing to have guaranteed access to. But let me go into the Discord chat, actually. Let's see if anyone's been putting their votes in yet. No, they've all been quiet, have they? Oh, I'm looking at our chat. Hold on, let's see their chat. I wonder if anyone's got any. Jamie Griffiths thinks it's Casper, who's had a very quiet evening, to be fair. Ben thinks it's Casper, but he probably knows who it is anyway, doesn't he? Arnold thinks it's OKK. Jackocar thinks it's Casper. I think they're just trying to upset Casper. Because Jake says that Casper brake checked hard out of the safety car and give wind damage. Fair enough. Not many people seem to know. Kaya has just messaged me saying he thinks it might be Ben Harrett and Johannes. Ben Harrett certainly did put himself in the firing line towards the end of that race. Not many people seem to know. But Casper's upset, because of course he is. That's the main headline here. Casper is upset. Well,
yes, he is. I'm just confirmed. I was a few messages behind you. Casper indeed upset.
I mean, I think we could have predicted that. Well, I think we did predict that, frankly, before. We definitely did predict that before the race, because of course he'd get upset. He just had a very bad race, unfortunately for him. But oh well, he's still in a decent position. I say that actually, he's not really, is he? He's only fifth in the standings as things stand. So. And he probably actually falls to sixth because Ben Shaw finished on the podium. So, fair enough, maybe he is actually quite upset. But, yeah, Mike Kelsborg thinks it might be Sully, who obviously went out at the start, but he's also out at the championship, so it'd be a bit weird if it was him. But if they're going to suggest one driver out of the race, will they then suggest Pete Knighton? I don't know who they are, but I think... I'm going to give it another minute or two, let a few more people... guess, and then we'll end the stream at some point. I don't think we'll find out while we're on stream who were in the Traitors
far
position.
Too efficient.
Yeah, I mean, also if any drivers are also watching the stream, then it would sort of spoil it for them, wouldn't it? Because they'll definitely be looking for any hints and clues. Gareth is typing something into the general chat, so I'm just going to wait and see what he says. And he's been typing for quite a long time, so he's probably going to explain how the voting... Or maybe he's going to be putting a poll in to do some voting now. That'd be quite useful. Then we could actually watch it happen in real time and see who they all think.
I'm just going to tweet the race winner tweet.
But yeah, I think if I'm to vote... I think if I'm in that position then to absolutely make a final vote... I think I'm with you with... Yeah, I'd go Johannes. I'd go Johannes for the playoffs. I'm going to go with Pete. I'm going to go with Pete for the chase. I think Pete gets himself out of the race nice and early. That would guarantee him a spot in the Championship 4. And the amount of times he's fallen just short, I think this is a great chance for him to guarantee that spot. And I think if it were him and they don't notice... That'd be very well done by him. Of course, the drivers could be watching me say this and be influenced by that. And if I'm wrong, well, you're welcome, actual traitor. But yeah, I think it was. I think it was Johannes and Pete.
My take, Owen, as you know, Johannes, I've stayed strong with that all race, and then I like your observation of Pete. If he's done that to play the game, I love it. And if it works out, I love it even more. Can he get himself to a Championship 5? That would just be dreamland for Mr. Knighton.
Oh, hello. Gareth has put his vote in. And there's only 9 names on the vote. which is interesting. So I'll tell you who's on the vote because it spoils that theory that we were just praising me for coming up with. So the drivers on Gareth's vote are Jake, Ben Shaw, Johannes, Casper, Arnaud, Chris Waits, Sully, Tony, and OKK. That's the playoffs, isn't it? I'm an idiot. That's the playoffs. Ignore me. My strategy my things could still be right.
We'll give Gareth a chance, shall we?
Yeah, sorry. I probably should learn to read what he's saying before I
think you got confused because OKK is in that list, and you were not used to seeing OKK in the playoff mix.
I don't think it makes any sense for it to be OKK though. Why would it be OKK or Sully? They're not in the championship. Or Gareth.
It's Johannes.
Yeah, it's Johannes or Casper, but Casper I think can't pretend to be upset. I think he's actually upset. Chris Waits has been very quiet, and he probably quite badly needs this. If he gets a shield, he can't be knocked out, can he? So then Casper would be knocked out of the whole playoffs, wouldn't he? Hold on, is that how that would work?
Talk to me, say that again.
Right, so if it was Chris Waits, and he's obviously provisionally just been knocked out of the playoffs, right? If it was Chris Waits, and they don't vote for him,
given a shield.
He'd get a shield that would protect him.
And
Ben
that's
Shaw
why Casper's unhappy because he read the rules at the start.
Yeah, I think Ben Shaw. Let me get the race result up again. I think Ben Shaw might have done enough to overtake Casper in the standings. And if that's the case, and Chris is the traitor and doesn't get caught, wouldn't that knock Casper out of the championship?
Yes.
Let me do the maths then. Let's see if my maths check out. So let me see if I actually got a screenshot. I did get a screenshot of the result on the stream anyway, but my stream's now decided it won't let me see. Great. Let me just look at the flaming result. Come on, internet. This is very important, right? Ben Shaw was third and Casper was seventh. So what's the points difference between third and seventh? Oh, it's 9 points. What is going on outside, by the way?
Is that the Fortnite bus?
I don't know. Oh, it's 7 points. It's 9 points. Yeah, so it's 26 points for third, 17 points for seventh. So that's 9 points difference. Ben Shaw would still be out by a point.
No way.
So Casper would be safe by a point. Oh, he's got the shield anyway. Flip, he's got the shield anyway. Oh,
who does?
So Casper's got a shield tonight, so he's actually fine. So Ben Shaw basically is in trouble if it's Chris Waits. Okay, do you know what? I'm going to stop theorising. I'm going to wait and find out who it is. Gareth basically is waiting for all the votes to come in. Casper's the popular vote in the playoffs. I think he's going to win that vote for the playoffs. He has won the vote for the playoffs. So the drivers think that Casper is the traitor for the playoffs. Johannes hasn't got a single vote as of yet, and Casper's got 10. The popular vote in the chase at the minute is Jamie Griffiths. So the drivers appear to think it's Casper and Jamie.
Are we allowed to vote on this, Owen?
I don't see why not. I don't see why not. I think it was...
Well, I mean, I voted anyway, so...
Yeah.
Gareth's going to get 22 votes here.
Yeah, he's going to get some votes. I will put my vote in.
But, as you say, 12 people have gone with Casper. They don't agree with the Johannes theory. Obviously, we saw it from a different perspective.
Yes. Absolutely. I'm just going to put that in the general chat, just in case he gets confused. When does Pete Knighton ever chat in Discord?
Yeah, I know.
When does Pete Knighton ever chat in Discord? Pete has just seen he's getting voted for and has panicked. I'm telling you, I was right. If I was right, I am so delighted with myself. If I'm wrong, then fair enough, I'm an idiot. But
I think we've nailed this. Obviously, the popular vote isn't going to go our way, but I think the actual people, I think we are right.
well, most votes are in now. I'd say enough votes are in for us to tell you who people have voted for, but I think Gareth's going to wait until absolutely everyone has had their say. But they have chosen, basically. No matter how many votes we get now. The drivers have voted for Casper, and they have voted for Jamie Griffiths. They are the two drivers that they believe are the traitors. And so now we wait to find out who the actual traitors are. So we just, I don't know, sit and wait, really. Might as well keep this on stream. If anyone's still watching at this point, you know what you're here for, so we might as well keep the stream going because you'll be waiting as well as we are. So,
well, we have 6 people watching. I'm one of those. So
I'm
5.
not. Yeah. Well, we're here. We'll just let you know then. The rest of the calendar. Well, it's not really much of a calendar to talk about actually, because we only know 2 of the races. Next week we are in Melbourne, which will be very exciting. I'm looking forward to that race. I always look forward to Australia. It's my favourite track. So, yeah, looking forward to that one. Then after that, we'll have the Championship 4 in Bahrain. That's the race that will decide who our Championship 5 are. The Championship 4 element is basically the Chase's version of Championship 5, and they'll do that to basically decide who their one driver is to join the 4 playoff drivers in the Championship 5. And a track yet to be decided. So, yeah, like I say, not too much of a of a calendar to talk about, but it means we're very much at the business end of the season now. This time in what? Well, 3 weeks we'll know our champion.
That's crazy, isn't it? That's so close.
And who knows? Maybe by then we'll have heard about F126. The indefinite delay may just last forever. Who knows?
The first Shaw and Hall era champion. Obviously, Gareth Hall won't be winning a championship under his own regime, but Ben Shaw, for the moment at least, still in it by a point, if it's what your theory suggests. But we shall see. 19 votes, by the way, in the playoff one, but then only 14, 15, 16, 17 in the chase. But IQO, and I believe there's enough to call that as D, which is Casper, and is that a G, which is Jamie Griffiths.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and hurry Gareth up a little bit. I'm impatient. I want to know. Gareth's just posting pictures now. Come on, Gareth, get on with it.
He did say that we would find out after the round table, and this is what that is.
Yeah. I'm very excited about this. What?
Yeah.
No, I'm not having that. I've just found out who they were. Well, okay. We'll wait until the drivers... Actually, no, they've already voted, haven't they? So we can probably announce it now, can't we?
I don't know, because what about stewarding?
Ben is just creating the image to put in the chat. I'll just ask.
We won't ruin that then.
Okay, we'll leave it then. But we now know who the traitors are. I mean...
You're thinking the same as me.
Yeah, we know what we're thinking. Obviously. But we'll add that to the words of wisdom, I think. But yeah, until it's fully confirmed, then we'll just sit tight. Well, actually, while we work that out, I'm just going to see what that does to the standings, because it actually does have some bearing on the standings, obviously, doesn't it? So let me have a look. Interesting things to say when it gets officially announced.
Try me. Oh, we can't. Yeah.
Well, we can't. Yeah.
Sorry,
We
I'm
can't.
impatient now, Owen.
I know. And even then, even then, I'm still not going to do the maths. There's too many maths to do, but I do feel bad for whoever has to do the maths because basically the result of this is surprising. You can talk a bit. I'm going to talk to Gareth in the chat.
So I was just catching up with the other chat. I see that Mr. Sullivan Lewis counted the amount of laps led as well, but I believe I got my message in before he did.
I think you did, yeah.
Oh, I missed it by a minute.
Oh,
But I was making the app, not the app. All the notes look pretty. Chat. So Gareth has confirmed. The people have spoken, and the accused are Jamie Griffiths and Casper Klein.
very dramatic stuff. We knew that.
So,
we knew it was going to be those two. So if those two are the traitors and they've been called out, they'll end up with no points here.
Here we go. Gareth can confirm that. It is dramatic.
I know. I should probably we should have
Jamie
oh.
is not a traitor.
So that's good news for him.
Which means somebody else from the chase. I do believe Gareth is typing.
Yeah.
He is indeed. However, says Gareth Hall.
I can't repeat what. Well, I can actually, but I won't.
Well, I can confirm that Casper is a.
Sore loser?
I must be a bit behind because I can't repeat that. Oh dear.
I've got to assume the people watching the stream are the ones in the Discord chat anyway, so I'm sure they're very much aware of what we're laughing at.
But he is not. He is not a traitor. So it is. So the accused, which is Jamie Griffiths and Casper Klein, are not traitors.
So that does mean that the actual traitors have earned a shield which protects them from elimination in the next event. And those drivers are, as we suspected, Johannes. So Johannes gets that shield for the next race. We sussed him out. The drivers didn't, but obviously from our perspective on stream, easier for us to tell. The other traitor is Leroy Hasselager, who, as far as I'm aware, would have been eliminated from the chase tonight because he was bottom and his race didn't go all that well. Now he's earned a shield, which surely means he's no longer eliminated, which means that possibly Baza might take his spot because Mike Kelterborn's had a good race this evening as well. Jordan Lane was up to do. Basically, when the miles get done, the chase has been completely transformed by this.
Yep, and then Gareth confirming that will give Johannes and Leroy immunity from elimination next week.
See,
Which
that
next
says
week is round
next week.
15.
Yeah, that says next week. So what if Leroy was already eliminated on points? We might need to clarify this a little bit.
Well, no, he can't be eliminated next week, which surely guarantees him a passage to round 16.
Yeah, but if he's already been eliminated this week on round 14...
It protects him this week.
I'm going to ask actually in the chat anyway. Just for my own clarification. Okay, based on what based on what's being said by Ben Shaw, he's still out of the championship, Leroy, if he didn't get enough points. So his traitoring may not have been traitorous enough.
Ah, I understand.
So he will have needed to outscore drivers. We'll let them worry about it later on. We'll let the people who do the maths. But anyway, yeah, our traitors are Johannes and Leroy. We guessed one right in commentary, so I'm pleased.
We're happy with that.
Yeah.
I like that, yeah. Yeah, and to be fair, with Leroy, I mean, yeah, you said we mentioned nearly every driver, but Leroy, for me, didn't do enough for us to think that it was him anyway. He was very low-key, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think earlier on in the race we thought it could have been him, but yeah, it definitely did sort of slip away after a while. But I believe then that is where we're going to leave it. You see, Baza as well seems to think he's been knocked out of the chase, so there'll definitely be a little bit of explanation to be done by our leaders, our owners, in the following minutes, if not hours, if not weeks, of how that all works. But yeah, I think we can definitely confirm Chris Waits, I'm sorry, you're out of the playoffs. I don't think anything could save him now. He's out. So we'll leave you with that, and we'll be back next week for Australia, where we will decide who makes our championship 4 for the chase. These next 3 rounds are going to be extremely exciting, so do join us. 7:30 next Thursday. We'll be there. Hope to see you there too. Cheerio. Safe travels.